So you finally decided to get rid of your two-wheel drive sedan and get an all-wheel drive vehicle. After months of shopping, we decided to go with the Mazda CX-5. It clearly offered the more bang for the buck. However, this is still a major investment. Even after we spent 6.5 hours at the dealership, haggling over prices and options, we still walked out of the door $42,000 poorer. So, how do you protect your car and your investment to make them both last as long as possible? That's what I'm going to show you in this video. And you guessed it, you do it by spending more money. In this case, we're looking at about an extra $1,500. First, I'm going to take a look at the stuff that you'll buy at the dealership before you leave the lot. First on the list, protect the paint on the side of the car with mud flaps. The dealership will charge you $300 to put them on. Help protect your car from being broke into by picking up a cargo cover, about $250. This prevents people from seeing what you carry in your cargo hold, and it is retractable if you don't want to use it. Another note on security, notice the glove compartment is not lockable, so you'll need to provide your own safe with this or many other cars. In this vehicle, I padlocked it to the child restraint point. The cost for this system? The safe, $235, the cable, $42, and 3 padlocks, about $17. If you don't want to come outside someday and find all your wheels missing, you'll need a security lock for each wheel. The dealership can make that happen for $75. This Mazda has a pretty freaking awesome heads-up display on it. The system projects directly onto your windshield important information to help you drive the car. It can even read the traffic signs as you drive by them. For example, it's telling me the speed limit of the road I'm on is 25 miles an hour, and I'm approaching a stop sign. But the scam here is, if you want this particular feature to work, they tell you have to give them $450 for their nav database. Yeah, you don't really need to do that. You can hop on the internet and buy the exact same database for $35. Before you start hauling stuff and scratching up your cargo area, pick up some cargo mats. For some really weird reason, they call them cargo trays at the dealership. It's not a tray, it's a mat, but anyway, it'll cost you $150. Before you drive off the lot at the dealership, take a look at your spare tire area. You'll find out that you're being cheated. The tie-down tow hooks will be missing. While negotiating the price of the car, ensure they order these for you. These hooks are installed in either the front or rear bumper to let you be pulled out of a ditch or to tie your vehicle down if you have to transport it. The front one's about $31, and the rear one's about $46. Also, before driving off the dealership lot, check out your doors. When I got home, I found out they were already chipped. A paint touch-up pen cost me $12. If I would have noticed the chips before driving off the lot, the dealer could have provided this pen to me, for free. Okay, we're finally done spending money at Mazda. We want to protect our doors from future chips that we'll put onto them. One roll at about $17 is more than enough. Getting in and out of the car, this painted area here will take quite a beating. But they sell protectors for that. A full set of protectors, $40. Floor mats. Never even took them out of the package at the dealership. Here's why. In the Camry, the part of the carpet that wore out was actually the sides, where the back of your heel and the side of your foot touches it. So you want to pick up floor mats to protect the sides of the carpet as well as the bottom. WeatherTech does a good job at $109. This is for the 2 front seats only. I'll explain why later. Driving down the road, other than your windshield, the first place you're going to get rock chips is the front hood. WeatherTech also sells a front hood protector. $90. Look at almost any car out there and you'll find a lot of scratches behind your door handle. This happens because people wearing rings scratch it while they're opening the door. For $14, 3M has a solution to that problem. When you bring your car home, you're going to notice that the back windows are all tinted, but the front ones aren't, and it really looks stupid. However, looks aside, this is bad for another reason. Heat buildup in the car. Those front windows are letting 100% of the infrared heat from the sun bake your interior. The solution is to tint the front windows. Now, window tinting is a little tricky and involves a little research. This tint is what they call 25%. This means that in addition to blocking about 99% of the harmful UV rays, it'll allow 25% of the natural light to get in. Window tinting is available in many different shades, but you need to remember that it does reduce visibility at night, and almost every state has laws concerning the maximum amount of tint you can put on windows. So it's a real good idea to stay within the law when you pick your window tint. Oh, and weirdly, the tinting laws are different for SUVs than they are for cars. Also, the color of the tint you're going to choose is often controlled by the law. To have the two front windows on my Mazda professionally tinted was about $265. Now you can't tint the front window in any state, so get yourself a fun sunscreen. Easy to install and remove. Give it a twist and it folds up into a 6-inch loop that can fit into your glove compartment. Okay, back to the outside of the car. Heat and rain. Both items can be addressed by installing rain guards up here. They install directly above the window, which allows you to crack your window when it's hot out. Rain doesn't get in and people walking by can't see the windows are cracked. Oh, and it also makes the car quieter if you're driving with your windows open. If you bought these from the dealer, not only did you pay too much money, but remember the looking stupid thing? Let's take a look. The dealer only sells the two front windows. They don't cover this back one. This leaves the car with a half-finished look. And they'll charge you $174. But the internet, they'll give you a complete set for $70. Believe it or not, there is a way to minimize your chance of hitting wildlife. This usually occurs when you startle them and they jump in front of you. Here we can see this deer is looking directly at me long before I get to him. Oh, he doesn't jump in front of me. The way I accomplish this is with deer whistles. The wind blowing through them emits a sound they can hear. But us humans can't. These things work so well for me. One time while driving across Wyoming, I came across a long line of antelope crossing the road. As I approached, the antelope just stopped and stared at me as I went past them. Nobody had to die that day. On the Mazda CX-5, I just mounted them up next to the other antenna on top of the roof. I like it. It gives it the futuristic spaceship look. $7 at AutoZone. Okay, now that the wildlife is taken care of, let's talk about the other scourge you may run into on the road. That's other human beings. Whether they're just bad drivers or scam artists causing accidents for the insurance, this is how you can protect yourself. Install a security camera that records the view outside of the vehicle while you're driving. It can be mounted in front of the rear view mirror. This way you can still see out of the front windshield. Here's the front view while you're driving, and here's the rear view. Of course, the video is going to be recorded in 4K for maximum clarity. Let's move under the hood for a second. This is a direct injection engine. These type of engines have a real problem with carbon buildup. So purchase a year's supply of your favorite fuel injector cleaner. Having it on hand will make it easy to do, and you'll get around to it. A large majority of us like to bring the wildlife into our cars. We take them to the beach, we let them roll around in the sand and have a good time. They run into the ocean, they get soaking wet with salt all over them. Then, when it's time to go home, they want to transfer all that beach paraphernalia to your black leather seats. Let's put a stop to that right away. We can do that with the Rough Rover 2.0 hard bottom back seat extender. This basically makes a clean protective cage in the back of your car. It works very well for smaller dogs. However, I've noticed that for larger dogs, it needs a little bit of a modification. Very shortly I'll be posting a video on how to do this, but you're installing an additional floor, a little bit of non-skid, and then the top protective blanket. And there you have it. The car is protected from a hard day at the beach. Oh, since you are dealing with dirt and sand, underneath your platform install a sheet to catch all that stuff. $10 was the cheapest sheet I could find. Keep your floors clean. Get yourself a trash bag. And believe it or not, a couple of these cleaning brushes would be very useful. This particular car has this control panel on the center pedestal. To completely disable your computer, all it takes is for that button to get stuck by a little piece of grit getting into the crack. With the brush, you can remove that grit and get your computer back up and running. This car apparently wasn't made for old people. They don't have this spot for storing your reading glasses. So you can buy this little clip to mount them up on the overhead visor. So if you have your phone linked to the Mazda computer, while driving, Mazda disables your ability to control the link between the two. So if your passenger needs to change the app that's running, having a dash phone holder comes in very handy. Another thing this is handy for, Mazda provides no place for you to put the key when you're driving. They say if you put them in this little jockey box where your phone charger is, it'll probably damage your remote. So it's a very convenient place to put your key while you're driving. Plus, it's in sight so you don't forget it. Let's talk entertainment system. Inside this small jockey box, there's a spot for 2 USB sticks. This is where you can put your music. Weirdly, your new Mazda is still in the 19th century as far as computers go. They want the memory stick to be formatted in something called FAT32. This is like the technology the very first memory stick ever owned. Unfortunately, FAT32 went out of style many years ago, so you probably don't have a memory stick formatted that way. And my Windows 11 won't let me do that on the new memory sticks. Luckily, you can hop on the internet and order memory sticks with 30-year-old technology that will actually work in this car. The driver's side mirror has a little bit of a design defect. Right here you can see a really annoying reflection. That's coming from inside of the car. I'll make a video showing how you can fix that with this tape. And finally, the last item. I mentioned earlier, actually buying this car was a brutal experience and very unpleasant. Because of that, I don't want to drive around advertising for them. As it turns out, it's pretty darn easy to replace your license plate bracket. Let's put on something that's much funner. Well, thanks for watching.